Good day, I'm Janilo Batikin from Section Golf. I'm here to discuss the subject CA3, which is therapeutic modalities. A little course description. This course covers the different therapeutic modalities, treatment models, treatment programs, and policy or program intervention for both institutional and non-institutional correction. The forging of partnerships involves an engagement of government agencies, religious sector, and private foundations, institutions, and non-governmental organizations focus on the detainees, inmates, person deprived liberties, total welfare, and well-being. Ang pasabot day sa therapeutic modalities kay usa siya kapamaaging nga naghatag usa siya pagmaagi nga makatabang sa usa ka tawo nga mag-usab or tagag chance nga mabag-o yang kaugalingon nya. Learning objectives. Number 1 kay define rehabilitation. 2 define the term person deprived of liberty. 3 enumerate the basic principles of Nelson Mandela rules. 4 explain the role of rehabilitation and penology. 5 identify and explain the 5 conceptions of criminal rehabilitation. 6 differentiate the concepts of rehabilitation and reformation of PDL. 7 identify some of the personalities and their contributions on the history of rehabilitative and reformative approaches. 8 define the term therapeutic community. 9 explain the concept of therapeutic community modality, TCM, and 10 enumerate some of the activities within the TCM. So, maguna ta diri sa rehabilitation. Rehabilitation kay kuha na siya to heal again or to recover again. Pagpayo or pagpausab sa usa ka inmate. According to the World Health Organization or WHO 2022, rehabilitation is defined as a set of interventions designed to optimize functioning and reduce disability in individuals with health conditions. In interaction with their environment, it is an essential part of universal health coverage along with promotion of good health and prevention of disease treatment and palliative care. It helps a child, adult, or older person to be as independent as possible in every activities and enables participation in education, work, recreation, and meaningful life roles such as taking care of family. WHO 2022. The term rehabilitate comes from the Neo-Latin word habilitere, which means to train or to educate for something. To rehabilitate someone would then accordingly mean to retrain or re-educate someone for something or try to develop his ability or abilities for something. Ang rehabilitation days sa DI kay pagpalambo sa DI siyang nang nakatunan or abilidad. So next is what is person deprived of liberty or PDL. The revised implementing rules and regulations of the Republic Act 10575 or the Bureau of Corrections Act of 2013 define person deprived of liberty or PDL, a detainee, inmate, or prisoner or other person under confinement or custody in any other matter, the promotion of the general welfare and safeguarding basic rights of every prisoner incarcerated in the national penitentiary by promoting and ensuring their reformation and social integration, creating an environment conducive to rehabilitation and compliant with the United Nations standard minimum rules for treatment of prisoners, responsible of the state, IRR RA 10,575 with the 16 section 2. So, ang person of deprived of liberty kay kanang protected sila ang katao nga kanang PDL or piniriso kanang kuan sila kanang protected gyapon sila sa law bisan kanang PDL sila na kanang na sila equal rights gyapon. So the Nelson Mandela Rules, the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the Treatment of Prisoners, also known as the Nelson Mandela Rules, provide states which detailed guidelines for protecting the rights of persons deprived of their liberty, from pre-trial detainees to sentenced prisoner. The rules are based on the obligation to treat all prisoners with respect for their inherent dignity and value as human beings and to prohibit torture and other forms of ill treatment. It emphasized that the provision of healthcare of prisoners is a state responsibility and that the relationship between healthcare professionals and prisoners is governed with the same ethical and professional standards as those applicable to patients in the community. So si Nelson Mandela nakita niya ang kanang sitwasyon sulod sa prisuhan, so iyang mas gipa-improve ang mga rules nga muuyon sa kanang katungod sa tao. So basic principles of Nelson Mandela rules. Rule number 1, all prisoners shall be treated with respect due to their inherent dignity and value as human beings. No prisoner shall be subjected to and all prisoners shall be protected from torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment for which no circumstances whatsoever may be invoked as a justification. The safety and security of prisoner staff, service providers, shall be ensured at all times. Ang rule number 1, pasabot nga ang personal ko no bisag kanang priso sila wala sila right nga kanang bunugon, kanang daog-daogon o kanang tagaan gyapon sila equal rights bisag piniriso sila. So rule number 2, the person present rules shall be applied impartially. There shall be no discrimination on the grounds of race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social region, property, birth, or any other status. The religious belief and moral precepts of prisoners shall be respected. In order for the principle of non-discrimination to be put into practice, prison administration shall take account of the individual needs of prisoners. In particular, the most vulnerable categories in prison account of the individual needs of prisoner settings, measure to protect and promote the rights of prisoners, which needs are required shall not be regarded as discriminatory. So ang gipasabot ni Nelson Mandela sa rule number 2 is no discrimination ragid sa tanan, ma-religious, ma-color, sex, language, na political or other opinion, national or social region. So rule number 3, imprisonment and other measures that result cutting off person from the outside world are afflictive by the very fact or taking from this person the right to self-determination by depriving them of their liberty. Therefore, the prison system shall not accept as incidental to justifiable separation or the maintenance of discipline, aggravate the suffering inherent in such situation. So, kanidi no cutting of person, communication, mental health, psychological torture. Kanang bisan piniriso siya, imo gapon siyang tagaan og kanang communication sa gawas. Pareha nang kanang weekly nga dalaw sa pamilya. Or kanang kung layo man gani ang pamilya kay natay idalaw. Idalaw is online nga video call para makastorya ang inmate ug ang iyang pamilya. So, rule number 4, daily routine. The purpose of the sentence of imprisonment or similar measures deprivative of a person's liberty are primarily to protect society against crime and to reduce recidivism. Those purposes can be achieved only if the period of imprisonment is used to ensure, so far as possible, the reintegration of such person into society upon release so that they can lead a law-abiding and self-supporting life. To this end, prison administration and other competent authorities should offer education, vocational training, and work, as well as other forms of assistance that are appropriate and available, including those are remedial, moral, spiritual, social, health, and sports-based nature. So sa rule number 4, ang purpose ni Nelson Mandela is kanang tagaan gyapon kanang mga kanang paeskwelahon gyapon ang mga inmate, kanang ihasa gyapon nilang mga skills, pabuhaton sila kanang mga recycle nga materials, ilahang imuon og kanang mga bag, mga kanang para makita ka ng pangwarta nya na yung mga kanang mag prayer nang maka tabang sa inmate nga makakuan siya siyang kuan inigawas niya siyang kaugalingon makabarog makasupport siya siyang kaugalingon inigawas niya sa prisuhan. Sa rule number 5, the prison regime should seek to minimize any differences between prison life and life at liberty that tend to lessen the responsibility of the prisoner or the respect due to their dignity as human beings. Prison administration shall make all reasonable accommodation and adjustment to ensure that the prisoners with physical, mental, or other disability have full and effective access to prison life on an equitable basis. Ang gipasabot sa rule number 5 nga ang prisoner kanang naghapon siya yung mga kanang access or katungod or kanang kanon sa siyang physical, mental, or other disabilities. So, arito sa rehabilitation and penology. Penology is a study of punishment, also known as penal science. It's a division of criminology that concerns itself with the philosophy and practice of society in its effort to repress criminal activities, repress or reform. In the field of penology, rehabilitation is usually specified by courts of law as one of the objectives of sentencing, alongside retribution, incapacitation, deterrence, and restoration. Goals of criminal sentencing. List of punishment or punishment for convicted siyang defendants. Sentence or punishment for convicted defendants. Impose of sentences is a judicial function to be performed by sentencing courts. The function of sentencing courts is to impose a sentence upon each offender that is appropriate to the offense and the offender. Criminal sentencing can range from probation and community service to prison. Different types of sentence are designed to meet different goals. The goals and contemporary criminal sentencing. Naday duha ka sentence, determinate and indeterminate. So sa determinate, no final judgment or wala siya validity. Sa indeterminate sentence, kay with final judgment na siya niya. Ato siya prison correctional. Nya retribution. And retribution masyag kanang vengeance, act of vengeance. Pag siya ang death penalty niya nga code kay si King Hammurabi or the Hammurabi code King Hammurabi Draconian code and code of Kalanchaw siyang death penalty. Retribution refers to the act of setting a punishment for someone that fits the crime. It focuses on the punishment of lawbreakers and the compensation of victims. The severity of the punishment is proportionate to the seriousness of crime. It is based on the concept of lex talionis or the law of retaliation or eye for an eye, tooth for an tooth. Kung unsay gibuhat nimo sa imong victim, mo say buhaton sa law nimo. So, incapacitation. It refers to the act of making an individual incapable of committing a crime by execution or banishment. And in a more modern times, by execution or lengthy periods of incarceration, it reduces crime by literally preventing someone from committing crime through direct control during an incarceration experience. Ang incapacitation kay kuan siya, isolation siya by restricting siya your freedom or isolation. Kuan kanang banishment or exile, example, or destierro, not less than 25 kilometer, not more than 250 kilometer. So deterrence, it is the use of punishment to stop potential criminals from committing crimes. It is based on the principle that criminals would choose to break the law only after considering the rest and rewards of their actions. When the punishment for committing a certain crime outweighs the reward, then the criminal will not commit the crime. When the punishment is viewed as less severe than the possible rewards, offenders were more likely to take risks and commit a crime. Deterrence in criminology. Naday duha ka klase sa deterrence, which is general and specific. Ang general deterrence, kung makakita ka kay mahadlok na ka mo commit sa crime, ma-view na nimo ang mahitabo ba nga. Yun na day. Specific kay ikaw mismo nahadlok ng ikadaan ba. Bisag wala pa ebidensya. Na point na kuha na nimo. Na view na nimo daan ng imong consequences sa imong buhaton. Rehabilitation. It is a process of helping inmates grow and change, allowing them to separate themselves from the environment factors that made them commit a crime in the first place. And the idea is to treat each of the major contributing factors in order to help give an inmate ability to live a crime-free life after they are released from prison. So, explain naman nila akong rehabilitation. Maragapon na yung explanation atong una. So, arin na ta sa restoration. Restoration, it is the process where victims, offenders, and communities affected by a particular offense meet to find a way to restore or make amends for the harm resulting from an offense. So, conceptions of criminal rehabilitation. There are 5 conceptions of rehabilitation of PDL. Number 1 is rehabilitation as anti-recidivism. An intervention administered by a criminal justice system to offender in response to whose offense is an instant of rehabilitation just in case. It is intended to reduce the likelihood that O will reoffend, other than by reducing O's capacity to reoffend, disincentivizing reoffending by O, or incentivizing non-offending by O. Rehabilitation may share with incapacitation and specific deterrence. The aim of preventing people from committing future crimes, so its aim is feature. Rather, its distinctive feature lies in how it gets not a distinctive feature, that is, in the means used to achieve this end. Incapacitation seeks to reduce the likelihood of recidivism through entering its physical impossible, for example, by separating the offender from potential victims or killing the offender. Special deterrence seeks to to reduce the likelihood of reoffending by disincentivizing. Rehabilitation, by contrast, employs other means most likely the alteration of the offender's intrinsic dispositions. Kanadayang rehabilitation as anti-recidivism reduced to reoffend kanang buhat siya para dili ka makasaog balik, makabuhat og kanang sala og balik nga kung unsay imong na-offend, imong naprisuhan. Rehabilitation, number 2, rehabilitation is harm reduction. An intervention is administered by a criminal justice system to the offender in response to one's offense is an instance of rehabilitation just in case. It is intended, number 1, it is intended to prevent harmful conduct by limited to the kinds of harms that are legitimately the business of the criminal law. Number 2, other than that, by reducing one's capacity to engage in such conduct, disincentivizing such conduct by or to incentivizing less harmful conduct by. Punishment can be justified even when it does not have any general deterrent effects, because it may rehabilitate the offender, that is, reduce the likelihood that the offender will perform action that either cause serious setbacks to well-being or pose a great risk of doing so. It aims to improve being offenders' responsiveness to prudential and moral reasons. Kanidang harm reduction prevent this siya na maka-harm sa community. Rehabilitation as therapy. An intervention is administered by a criminal justice system to offender O in response to O's offense. Is an instance of rehabilitation just in case it is intended to cure or ameliorate a mental defection in O that is understanding by the intervention. To have casually contributed to O's past offense or predispose to O to further offending. And the aim of rehabilitation overlaps with those who medicine specifically given the focus on mental illnesses and deficits. Clinical psychiatry, as with standard medical treatments, the aim of curing or ameliorating the deficit may be instrument to the further aim of benefiting the individual. However, the other further aims are also possible. These may include, for example, preventing, defending, protecting the public, or advancing the social good. Number 4, rehabilitation as moral improvement. As intervention, I, administered by a criminal justice system to offender O in response to O's offense, is an instance of rehabilitation just in case it's intended to morally improve O. Punishment is justified as a way to prevent wrongdoing insofar as it can teach both wrongdoers and public at large the moral reason for choosing not to perform an offense. Kuanday para mahadlok ang number 4, para mahadlok ang mga tao nga mo commit og crime, para ma-prevent nila prevent nila nga kanang kuan buhat ana nga sala. Number 5, rehabilitation as restoration. An intervention I administered by criminal justice system to offender O in response to O's offense is an instance of rehabilitation just in case it is intended to restore O's moral or social relationships or standing. Rehabilitation is a matter of restoring the offender's social or moral standing in society or his social or moral relation with others, or fostering the capacities needed for such restoration. This could include social and vocational capacities as well as moral ones. Rehabilitation and reformation as information of PDL. Rehabilitation is a program of activity directed to restore a PDL's self-respect and sense of responsibility to the community, thereby making him or her a law-abiding citizen after serving his sentence. Reformation is a means of amending or improving by changing an inmate's behavior, removing his or her faults or abuse, and removing or correcting an abuse of a wrong or error. It is the at bringing back an inmate to such a sense of justice so that he may live in society without any detriment to it. It refers to the acts which the public, families, or inmates. The national inmates are no longer harmful to the community by becoming reformed individuals, prefer to live a normal and reproductive life upon reintegration to the mainstream society. Mo naman kuha naman to na ako, discuss ng rehabilitation. History of rehabilitative and reformative approach. During the medieval period till the 18th century, the punishments were cruel and retributive in nature. Punishments were designed not only just to cause pain, but also to humiliate offenders in front of the whole society. This includes hanging, drawing, and quartering, beheading, boiling, pillory, and placing an offender in the stocks. The development of the reformative and rehabilitative approach in criminal justice started during the Enlightenment age. Cesar Beccaria kay sa classical school siya. Ang iyang kuan kay Cesar Beccaria 1738 namatay kay 1794 was a criminologist and economist. In the early 1960s, Beccaria helped form a society called the Academy of Peace, dedicated to economic, political, and administrative reform. 1964, he published his famous and influential criminology essay on crimes and punishment. His work is a passionately to humanize and rationalize law and to make punishment just and reasonable. He did not question the need for punishment, but he believed that laws should be designed for public safety and order, but not to avenge crime. Beccaria identified a pressing need to reform the criminal justice system, citing the then prison system as barbaric and antiquated. He emphasized the need for adequate but just punishment and went so far as to explain how the system should define the appropriate punishment for each type of crime. His main contribution in the field of correctional service is that he was the first person to assert that the punishment should be in proportion to the harm done. Beccaria emphasized the importance of certainty and of promptness in punishment if it were to be effective. According to him, there must be a reasoned balance between the seriousness of crime and the punishment imposed. So, Sir Beccaria, his study is all about crimes and punishment. Arita sa sunod. Si Samuel Romilly. Si Sir Samuel Romilly, 1757 to 1818, was an English legal reformer whose chief efforts were devoted to lessening the severity of English criminal law. He devoted his life to advocating on behalf of the lower classes and worked to reform England's criminal law by abolishing capital punishment for minor crimes. He strongly criticized the doctrine of maximum severity, 2020. So, Samuel Romilly, iyang focus siya sa study of decrease the penalty of punishment. Zebulon Brockway. Zebulon Brockway, 1827-1920, was referred to as the father of prison reform and the father of American parole. Zebulon Brockway, History, Facts, and Quote. He advocates a program designed to educate and reform prisoners rather than punish them. He promotes indeterminate sentencing as well as the development of the precursor to the modern parole system. Brockway believed that rehabilitation could be achieved through education. Inmates who did well in both academic and moral subjects earned early release by accumulating points. Misbehavior and poor performance in equal courses prolong the individual sentence. Next is, what is therapeutic community? The therapeutic community teaches an environmental that helps people get help while helping others. This treatment environment, the interaction of members are designed to be therapeutic within the context of the norms that require for each to play the dual role of client therapist. This is the vehicle to foster behavior and attitude change. The expectation that is placed on the individual members reflects not only the needs of the individuals but also the social and support needs of the community. It also provides social expectations which are parallel to the social demands that the client will confront upon discharge to their home communities. The therapeutic community operates in a similar fashion to a functional family with a hierarchical structure of older and younger members. Each member has a defined circle and responsible for sustaining the proper functioning of the TC. There are sets of rules and community norms that members upon entry commit to live by and uphold. So, therapeutic community modality. The Philippines is employing therapeutic community modality, or TCM, to affect the rehabilitation and reintegration of probationers, parolees, pardonees, first-time minor drug offenders, and PDLs. As productive, law-abiding, and socially responsible members of the community, TCM is a self-help social learning treatment model used for clients with problems or drug abuse and other behavioral problems such as alcoholism, stealing, and other antisocial tendencies. It provides dynamic virtual self-help environments in which residents transmit or reinforce one another's acceptance of and conformity with the highly structured and stringent expectations of the community. A central part of the therapeutic community structure board that has many job functions. The lines of responsibility treatment models are or chain of command of the structure board are clearly marked and, as be followed, participants will be taught the different job function truly as possible so they may understand how the community operates. So, activities in therapeutic community. The therapeutic community provides a well-defined structure for synchronized and focused implementation of the various intervention strategies, activities such as individual and group counseling. This activity intends to assess the clients in trying to sort out their problems, identify solutions, recounsel conflicts, and help resolve them. This could be done either by individual or group interactions with the officers of the assigned agency. Masabtan naman. Moral, spiritual, values formation. Seminars, lectures, or training offered or arranged by the designated agencies compromise these rehabilitation activities. Active NGOs, schools, civic, and religious organizations are taped to facilitate activities. Work or job placement referral. Categorize as an informal program wherein a client is referred for work or job placement through the officer's own personal effort, contact, or information. Vocational livelihood and skills training. The program includes the setting up of seminar and skills training classes like food preservation, processing, candle making, novelty items, and handicraft making, etc. to help the client earn extra income. Likewise, vocational and technical trade classes are available such as refrigeration, automotive mechanics, radio television, electronics repair, tailoring, dressmaking, basic computer training, etc. through coordination with local barangay, parish centers, schools, and civic organizations. Health, mental, and medical services. To address some of the basic needs of clients and their families, medical missions are organized to provide various forms of medical and health services, including physical examination and treatment, free medicines and vitamins, dental examination and treatment, drug deficiency test and laboratory examination. Psychological testing and evaluation as well as psychiatric treatment are likewise provided for by the agency's Clinical Services Division. And if not possible by reason or distance, referrals are made to other government accredited institutions. Literacy and education. In coordination with LGU programs, adult education classes are available to help clients learn basic writing, reading, and arithmetic. Likewise, literacy teach-ins during any sessions conducted for clients become part of the module. This is particularly intended for clients who are no read, no write, or literate to help them become functionally illiterate. Likewise, linkage with educational foundation, others, GOS, and NGOs are regularly done for free school supplies, bags, and uniforms for clients, children, and relatives. Sunod kay community service. This program refers to the service in the community rendered by clients for the benefit of society. It includes tree planting, beautification drives, cleaning and greening of surroundings, maintenance of public parks and places, garbage collection, blood donation, and similar socio-civic activities. Client self-help organization. This program takes the form of cooperatives and client association wherein the clients form cooperatives and associations as an economic group to venture on small-scale projects. Similarly, client associations serve another purpose by providing some structure to the lives of clients. They learn the basics of working within a group with hierarchy, authority, and responsibility, much like in bigger society. Payment of civil liability. The payment of civil liability or indemnification to victims or offenders are pursued despite the economic status of clients. Payment of obligations to the victims instill in the minds of the clients their responsibility and the consequences of harm they inflicted to others. Environment and ecology awareness programs. To instill awareness and concern in preserving ecological balance and environmental health, seminars, lectures are conducted wherein clients participate. These seminars, lectures tackle anti-smoke belching campaigns, organic farming, waste management, segregation and disposal, and proper care of the environment. Sports and physical fitness. Activities that provide physical exertion like sports, games, and group play are conducted to enhance and physical well-being of clients. Friendly competition of clients from the various offices of the sectors together with the officers provide an enjoyable and helpful respite. So, lesson 2. Ano to sa lesson 2? BGMP Therapeutic Community Modality Program. Learning objective. Number 1, define Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Number 2, identify the mandates and function of BGMP. Number 3, enumerate BGMP core programs. Explain the BGMP Therapeutic Community Modality Program. Identify the salient points on the development of BGMP Therapeutic Community Program. Number 6, identify the important ideas on the conceptual framework of BGMP Therapeutic Community. And number 7, enumerate and explain the process of BGMP Therapeutic Modality. Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. The Bureau of Jail Management and Penology was created to address growing concerns of jail management and penology problem as one of the 5 pillars of the criminal justice system. It referred to as a jail bureau and is created initially consisting of officer and uniformed members of the Jail Management and Penology Service as a constituted under Presidential Decree Number 765 RA 6975 1990 Section 60. Its clients are detainees accused before a court who are temporarily confined in such jails while undergoing investigation, waiting final judgment, and those who are serving sentence promulgated by the court 3 years and below. 3 years and below kay jail. Na itulo ka kuan sa makasud sa kuan BGMP. Tao nga naa sa BGMP. Sila ang under investigation, awaiting trial and final judgment. Mandates and functions of BGMP. The BGMP's mandate to direct, supervise, and control the administration and operation of all districts, city, and municipal jails nationwide with prone task of safekeeping and develop of PDL RA 1990 Section 61. Exercise administrative and operational jurisdiction over all district, city, and municipal jails. It is a line bureau of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, DILG. As such, the bureau ensures the following: BGMP 2015. The establishment of the secure, clean, adequate, equipped sanitary facilities, the provision of quality service for the custody, safekeeping, rehabilitation, and development of district, city, and municipal inmates. The following are the functions of BGMP rooted from their mission. Number 1, relational behavior management. Continue to substantially comply with the provision for all conditions. Develop harmonious relationship with the family and community. Identified legitimate social support groups for relapse prevention. Continued endeavoring to reconcile with the victim. Number 2, effective emotional psychological. Develop a sense of responsibility and maturity. Learn to deal with issues leading to relapse. Manifested positive personal change. Manage critical life challenges. Number 3, cognitive intellectual. Sustain basic literacy skills and or develop other through processes. Number 4, spiritual. Attain genuine spiritual enhancement, internalize the thesis, precepts, and belief system. Number 5, psychomotor or vocational survival skill. Enhance, utilize employable skills and or engage in other productive pursuits to increase self-sufficiency. Demonstrated initiative and resourcefulness in performing functions in the hierarchical structure. The criteria